You're listening to Acoustic Songs Live on WNJR 91.7 FM in Washington, Pennsylvania. I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell. We have Amy Petty here in the studio. How you doing, Amy?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in today. She's all the way from New Hampshire by way of St. Louis, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, yes.
Yeah. So why don't you dig into one of your songs for us
Great.
here?
I will.
What's this called?
This is called The Prince's Daughter.
Okay.
Now get ready to hold on. And hold on tight. You may be going for the ride of your life. Going 50 down the side streets. It's always been fast enough for me. Now get ready to be let down, taking aspiration. You strip it down, you're running in bare feet along the side streets. Well, it's never been fast enough for me. And now I see all my dreams are out here. They steam in the water like trouble
In case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live from WNJR. I have Amy Petty here in the studio with me, playing live. Very nice song. That's really cool.
Thanks.
It's one of my favorites that I heard on your MySpace page. And for the record, there's no percussionist and there's no looping. That's her playing the percussion part on her acoustic. I don't know how you pull that off. I close my eyes and it's like there's two people there.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a friend who he always said that the guitar was a drum before it was a guitar, and I think that's pretty cool because I guess maybe in a lot of ways it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The history of it coming from Africa. And,
Right.
yeah. So is that on the new CD?
That's on the old CD. That's on the first one. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and it's so nice. I think that's the first time I've ever said the old CD.
The old CD.
Yeah.
So you have a
Yeah.
new CD.
Yep,
right?
new CD though. Yep, we just finished recording it, and it'll be out in October.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the title is the new CD, House of Doors.
House of Doors. That's right.
Cool. So everybody, check out amypettymusic.com. Is that
Just
correct?
amypetty.com.
amypetty.com.
Yep.
And your record company is
Red Pill Entertainment.
Red Pill.
Yep, in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, and that's what you just came from St. Louis and you're on your way to Detroit via Washington, Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, I guess.
Yeah. So I was looking over your bio and reading your background,
Yeah.
and you basically grew up in rock and roll.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about
totally. My dad was, he was a sound man for a really popular Detroit area cover band called Stonebridge. And, he wasn't a musician, like playing instruments or singing. That wasn't his thing, but he just loved music and he loved listening to music. He was a real music lover, and he kind of taught me to listen to music. He loved, which is kind of funny too, he loved like the symphonic rock of the 70s. He loved like vocals. He loved really impressive vocals. He thought Freddie Mercury was a genius, and he was, of course.
that. Okay,
So-
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. And I
Mhm.
mean, just he would listen to it and be so excited he just wanted to talk to somebody about it. So it would, he would talk to me about it. He would push rewind on the tape, or skip the the needle back on the record a little bit, and we'd listen to things over and over and over again. So he just really taught me how to love the complex music and not just like simple fluff. He was
Mhm.
not a fluffy kind of guy.
Yeah,
So
cool.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so, I see on your bio, yes, Boston, Queen, Scorpions, that
Mhm.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very layered musically.
Exactly.
Very,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Like a lot of different dimensions. He loved that stuff.
So you you're classically trained, right?
Yeah, which my father didn't understand at all, because he really thought I was going to be, because I always sang, and I did, I loved like, Joan Jett and, Whitney Houston, and, just people who were like, you could belt it out, and sing. And then when I went into classical music, he was always like, why are you doing that? And I loved it. I really liked making that sound. So, yeah, I studied classical music in college, got my degree in classical voice.
Wow. Some of the classical stuff that you learned, what would stand out as something that you really...
A lot of like music stuff kind of came naturally to me. Like a lot of the theory and the ear training, all that stuff just kind of came naturally. But what didn't come naturally was kind of stepping outside of myself and really feeling the music in a very visual, like visible way. So I learned so much about emoting and just really, I guess becoming the song that you're singing by singing opera. Because when you're standing up there in a 20-pound wig and you're wearing 50 layers of dresses, it's like you can't not become the character. So that really taught me that. And I think that is I don't want to say I think it's always the first thing I think of. I'm able to become other characters, but also I'm able to really find that in me too.
get inside the song
Yeah.
and make it your own.
Yeah, and even songwriting, it's like I just feel like I'm able to dig down into a place and express that in a way that maybe I wouldn't have been able to without classical music.
It's a performance of the song. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I got you.
Mhm.
Okay. What are some of the operas that you sang? Just
We did, let me see, Così fan tutte. We did, it's Mozart. We did, oh no, I'm drawing a blank.
I didn't mean to put you on the
Oh,
spot.
no, it's okay. No, you know, it was kind of fun. We did like a lot of different little things. We did Johnny Skiki, which is just like a short comic opera, which taught me how, that was one of the big ones. It taught me how to be funny on stage, you know. Just, we did, it was great. Did a lot of fun different stuff.
Have you seen this? It's been all over the news lately. The little girl. I just thought of
That stuff cracks me up. I think it's so funny because, I mean, you know, classical music is such a, there's a maturity that comes with a voice like that, and oh gosh, not that I'm ripping on her, because I mean she's so cute and she really is. She's super talented, and I think she's gonna make it. I think she'll be a successful musician. But that voice that's coming out of her is so contrived and manipulated.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I hope she's not hurting herself. That's the first thing I'm thinking. But she's adorable.
I couldn't believe
Yeah,
it when I first heard it.
It's
I was
pretty
like,
amazing.
Where did that voice come from?
Right.
It just sounds like this full-grown, just a woman's voice coming out of a kid.
Right,
And I did the same thing when I was in church. That's how I started.
Yeah.
I heard the guys singing that deep voice, and I tried to emulate that.
You know,
They made me a parrot, you know.
right? Yeah. Well,
They do that.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, is that there's something, the reason I know she'll be so successful is because she can imitate what she hears, and that's, a lot of people can't do that. And if you can, I mean that's kind of like, it's not cheating, but I mean, it's a great way to
Good
know
start,
that you can do it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's why I know she'll be, I mean, she's never going to end up doing anything else. She'll be doing music the rest of her life, for
I
sure.
just wondered about that, yeah, because that is, when in singing, I never had any formal training.
Sure. But you
other
can
than
you can make the sound of it.
other
yeah.
well, other than choir in high school,
Right.
you know, type of thing. Yeah, that being able to imitate, and that's what's really what she's doing. She's getting an imitation.
Yeah,
And
and it's really impressive. I couldn't believe it.
so, what are other than the classical? Here are some of the inspirations that you had. Growing up. When did you start writing songs as opposed to like doing classical music or singing opera? When did you decide that you wanted to be a songwriter also?
It all kind of was around the same time. When I was in college is when I just really started delving into music and trying to find everything that I could do. Because I knew that, I liked to sing. I knew that I could do that. I knew that I could hear stuff kind of well and pick it out on piano and play melodies, I could do that. But, I don't know, there were these guys in high school who, and I don't know, this happens a lot even today, where people assume that I must not know what the chord progression is. Like maybe somebody else helps me figure out what a chord progression is, and I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing, So I really, because I knew what I was doing, but I couldn't exactly articulate that, I was determined to just learn it and do it. So as much as I was studying opera and, that classical side of it, I was trying to figure out how to play piano. I was trying to figure out how to play guitar. I wanted to understand exactly what I was doing with chord structure, and I just wanted to do all of that stuff. So nobody had to do it for me.
Did you teach yourself the music part, like
I did.
The piano and the guitar part? You weren't classically or formally trained then?
No, not at all.
Well, hey, why don't you dig into something else from? What are you gonna do for us?
I'll do another one from the first record. This is a song called "Take It," and this is the song that is like two people in the room, I think, when it comes to the percussion on it. So.
Okay, this is Amy Petty on Acoustic Songs Live.
Precious and I could just trust in this wisdom, because you say I can't take it. Yeah, I can't take it. If you say I can't take it, well then I should probably take it. So give me a glance and I'll keep it. Give me a ship and I'll sink it. Just give me a chance and I'll bring it. Oh no, no, give me a line. Just give me some time and give me a sign and I'll sing. I will sing it. I will sing it.
I could listen to that all day.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like that's one of those driving in the car songs, you
Yeah.
know, where you just
Totally.
like you're driving along and it's a nice sunny day and it's just that's
Cool.
great.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, like, I don't know how you do that, the whole thing with the guitar, but you know,
Well,
it's really cool.
you know, it's funny because I have all of this, like, you know, very purposeful training when it comes to my voice, and then everything else, I'm just like faking it. You know, you know.
Well, it's natural.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
It's there. So I was looking over. You played, you know, up in Londonderry. It's close to the Boston area, so.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Club Passam.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah. Passing. Yeah.
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 I see. You could tell I'm not from.
That's fine.
Um,
I know. I looked at it. The first time I saw it, I had no idea.
Yeah. Christopher Williams. Did you play with him?
Yes, I did.
That
He's
is-
a great friend of mine.
It's-
Yeah.
Here's the small world that we live in. I think I tried to track down how I found out it was either Ryan Horn or Christopher Williams as a friend on MySpace somehow, and hooked me up with this guy, Mitch Dane, who has worked with him. He has a
Really?
studio down in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's where I recorded, and we were actually going to try to get Christopher and Mitch Dane are real good friends, and we were going to try to get Chris to play
Really.
on the CD. But here's a shout out because he's a great guy and great. Wow,
awesome.
Djembe.
Yeah, isn't that the coolest?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
When I hear I'm thinking, okay, I've got to bring that up because
Yeah.
I've seen his djembe playing.
He's so great, and we did an In the Round concert together with another a female trio called Maeve, and it was just the coolest show. He's so entertaining, and he's just so personable, and he tells great stories, and he's got a great voice, and everything about him, he's great.
Yeah, I
So,
hope to
yeah.
meet him one day. I've
Oh.
only just kind of emailed and conversed over the internet.
Right.
Isn't it amazing how that happens? Like you have these, I don't know, Facebook friends, MySpace people friends, and then you meet them one day.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, hey.
Well, that's how that's how I met my record label. They found my music on MySpace. I just recorded a bunch of terrible demos at home, and I call her my executive producer. That's what she is technically, but really now she's kind of become my Jewish mother. She cares for me, and she just found my music and she said she liked it, and I drove out to meet people that I met online, which is usually not a good idea, but in this case it worked. And that's how, and now they're like, they're a huge part of my life. I spend months out of the year with these people, and, we're in business together for a long time, so it's great.
Isn't that amazing
It's
though?
so weird.
I know, it was very strange when I remember driving down to Nashville. And making these, sending these emails and everything, and I'm going to meet this dude at the studio, and not knowing what to expect. honestly. I thought the music industry is just like when, you know, your dad was in it, and
Yeah.
you just don't, you don't know. It was like so many like kind
Exactly.
of shady kind of things going on,
Right.
and this ended up being like the pinch me.
That's
it's
what
real.
I'm finding, is that the people that I'm meeting through, especially through Twitter of all places, I am meeting the people that like, there's no other way I could have found them, but they are becoming this foundational, like this support system that I don't think I could do what I'm doing without them.
Ah.
And it's just so, it's so strange how that's working out, because it does have like serious shady potential, but it never ends up being weird. Oh, I mean, so far it hasn't.
You found your tribe.
Exactly.
There's a book
Yep.
called Tribes.
Gosh, that's exactly right.
Yeah, you're finding your tribe, a group of like-minded individuals that support your music and love what you're doing.
Yeah,
and,
it's cool. It is just, I love it, and I'm so grateful for it. I don't know how, a lot of people are having a hard time finding their way in this, cyber music business, and it's really working for me. So I'm just gonna hold on to it and take it where, go with it where it takes me, I guess, because I'm loving it. It's working.
So yeah, it's really changed the way people do business in the music world, also make music, and I like it. I mean, I'm a little older, and so I remember making those little demo cassette tapes.
Right.
And the deal was like you had to get a record deal and all that kind of stuff. Nowadays it's a whole new world. All these different media outlets.
Yeah. If you change your expectations, I mean, I don't want to be Britney Spears. I'm not, that is not what I'm shooting for. And, so far so good. I'm not that, and that's certainly not the goal. And I don't know, I'm loving what I'm doing, and it's more of an art thing than it is I want to be famous. I want to play music for people. It's an art. So. And
if you can make a full-time living doing it, I mean, you're so far ahead of just having to. I mean, the old days of got to have a day gig, in order to support my weekend musical thing.
Your music.
I had a conversation about that with someone that it's like that world's changed.
Yeah.
You can do it full time, and you can make a living at it.
Well, I certainly don't make a living at it, but my husband makes a living at his day job.
Yes.
So that works for me.
Yes.
I mean, maybe that's awful, but that's the way that it is. I mean, but I think it's like right around the corner. I think that there's a way that I don't think it's too far off for me where I will be able to. I could fully support myself with music. I mean, right? I think I'm pretty close right now. I don't know.
It takes a while.
It does.
To build it. And
but once it gets built, I mean, it starts kind of taking care of itself a little bit, and it can just kind of keep, that ball can keep rolling if you do it right, I think, so.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah. I've noticed that. It's been like 2 years since the recording.
Yeah.
You're always kind of like doing things in reverse, or you're out playing songs, but then you're in the studio recording the ones that you wrote, so there's this history of stuff. And then by the time the CD gets out, you're already like moved on artistically,
exactly.
but you're promoting your past.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting.
I can't even tell you how sick of the new album I already am. I've been listening to it so much, and I mean, it's still like 3 months away from being released. But I've been listening to it overload. So I decided that next week I'm not going to listen to it one time. That's what I decided.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
but then I'll go back into it like crazy, I guess.
I'm lucky. I get to listen to people like you. So
Cool. That's
to
great.
I have people come in, and so you want to dig into something? What,
I will.
You're going to do something from the new CD?
I think I will.
Yeah.
Tune up here.
While you're doing that, if we can just let people know that you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live on WNJR 91.7 FM in Washington, Pennsylvania at WNJ College. And We're also streaming online at WNJR.org, and you can message us at WNJR Radio. And we have Amy Petty here in the studio. I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell, and Chip Wallace is behind the board, manning, doing everything, handling the board, which I am very grateful for. Amy's going to do a song. This is off your new CD.
It is. Yeah.
That's the CD's name, House of Doors. It's coming out in October on Red Pill Records. And what's the name of this thing?
This is A Promise's Demise. I don't do optimism, I do, well, whatever. And I don't do maybe someday, I do now or never. And I don't have patience, 'cause I've got a ticking clock. And I don't do clothes for business, no, I do what Jimmy like. 'Cause a promise is a promise, and a promise is to keep. But a squeaky soul and self-control are sold for pretty cheap. So ask me no more questions, and I will tell you no more lies, because I can't promise anything but a promise's demise. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I cannot act into being, 'cause I am what I am. And I cannot follow the leader, 'cause I got a better plan. And I don't ask why he cried, then try to deny like some big, strong, tough guy. No, I ain't gonna say hello when all I wanna say is goodbye. 'Cause a promise is a promise, and a promise is to keep. But a squeaky soul and self-control are sold for pretty cheap. So ask me no more questions, and I will tell you no more lies, because I can't promise anything but a promise's demise. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. 'Cause a promise is a promise, and a promise is to keep. But a squeaky soul and self-control are sold for so cheap. So ask me no more questions, and I will tell you no lies, because I can't promise anything but a promise's demise.
I don't think they teach that in opera training there. That's, you know, it may be training your voice, but there's this soulful quality to your voice that is not, I just don't hear opera there at all.
Right. Good.
Okay.
That's kind of good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think when I first started doing this kind of thing, they could kind of hear more of the opera influence.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wanted to get away from that, just because I found myself, I could get kind of annoyed when I could hear like very classical training in somebody, so I'm glad you say that. So
Oh yeah, there's,
good.
yeah, very soulful.
Yeah.
And the songwriting superb, just stellar.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing the CD when it comes out.
Yeah, good. It really turned out just great. It's really good.
And you worked with some pretty decent people on this, huh?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about,
Yeah.
name dropping as far
Yeah,
as that's
yes,
concerned, but
yes.
it is very
No, I will do
important,
it.
you know.
I am not about name dropping. My producer is Jacob Dietering, and he can just do anything. He's got great ears. He thinks outside of the box. We've been working together for 4 years now, and his mind is broad, and he's not afraid to like just think outside the box. He worked with Bonnie Raitt, people like that. R. Scott Bryan, he is kind of multi-instrumentalist. He did a lot of percussion and like B3 kind of stuff. He was in Sheryl Crow's band for a long time. He was with Peter Mayer. And he has his own successful singer-songwriter career. Another name is Eric Grossman. He plays bass, and he's the bass player for Case Choice. And I'm not quite sure how in the world I dropped into the middle of all these guys, but they're so great. The best thing about them is that they're all, we kind of decided that we're all kind of nerdy. So like none of us are like hardcore rock stars. We're all just kind of like nerdy music people, and we all sit around and we just want to make really good music.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not trying to, we all just kind of look around going like, how did this happen? How did we all end up in the same place? So it's great. I work with really, really outstanding musicians.
You brought up something kind of interesting because we were talking about the internet stuff and everything, yeah. And I found like a lot of musicians actually had internet gigs like on the side, or they were computer people, musicians / computer folks,
yeah.
And one of my first internet friends was the bass player in the band who
yeah.
was also a computer programmer. And
well, it's almost like you have to be able to do both on some level now. I certainly I'm not like a computer whiz, but you have to know your way around these things,
Mm-hmm.
in order to be successful. And it's kind of nice too. My piano keyboard player, his name is Dave Aholt. He's another one of these guys. I mean, he's a programmer, and this is what he does. And for some reason, it seems like maybe I don't know, maybe that kind of talent comes from the same place in the brain as
mm-hmm.
musical talent. I don't know, but he's great at both. Just really, really talented.
Yeah, I found a lot of people that were into MIDI,
Yeah.
that type of thing, and that keyboards and recording, Mac guys,
Right,
old
right.
school, Mac and Atari guys.
Right.
They were musicians. And then when the internet, it's like they had a leg up on everybody.
Yeah.
A leg.
Right.
But it's interesting. But isn't that when you find yourself with a group of people in the studio and you're recording and you go like, how did that happen? How did this all come together?
Yeah.
Did your producer put that all together, or did you end up?
Oh yeah, no, I just kind of walked in and they were all there.
Okay.
I literally when I drove I drove from Boston to St. Louis the first time in 2006, and I walked in and there were just a bunch of people there, and the nice thing was my friend Lauren, the one that I had originally been talking to through MySpace. She said, you're going to get here and you're going to meet the family that you didn't know you had here. And it's exactly what happened. I just kind of walked in, here are all these guys, went around, introduced myself, and now it's like, they're all like brothers to me,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is your musical family.
Yeah, it's cool.
And
I was driving yesterday, and I stopped in, where was I? Somewhere in Indiana. Just, some random like truck stop or something, and I'm standing there trying to pick out like a bag of potato chips or something to keep me awake. And I just had this moment of realization of what I had just done and what I was coming to do here, and then what I'm doing when I get home, and then this, I have a tour later in the fall, and I just started crying in the middle of the potato chip section at the truck stop in like somewhere in Indiana. But it really is, it's so overwhelming how things have come together, and it's like, it's amazing to me.
yeah, I don't think of it as coincidence that all these things have fallen into place, and you go like,
no, like that's just meant to be.
how did this happen? How did that happen? It's just when the blue pill, the red pill thing,
Mm-hmm.
the matrix falling together. It's like, how did all this happen? And I experienced that same thing, like after it was all over, and you're like, how? Wow,
Yeah,
what did I just do?
Yeah.
Oh
I've decided to
God,
stop asking.
Am I dreaming?
Right.
Yeah.
I've decided to stop asking why and just start saying thank you. Just
Yes.
go, thank you for that. Thank you, everybody. I mean, like,
Yes.
I just, it's beyond my comprehension of how this is all going down. So.
And songwriting, that's when the songwriting happens, it's that same I think process.
Do you suffer from, because you're a songwriter too, so do you suffer from that like post-songwriting depression? Like when a song is done being written?
No, it's more like
Well, then maybe that's just me.
it's more like when the song is happening, it's well, I wouldn't know this, but it's kind of like childbirth. And I'm just, or it's more like maybe PMS, where I'm just irritable to be around.
Right.
It's like, okay, then it's done, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm glad,
See,
and then I'm relieved.
I have this feeling of like, that might never happen again. That might be the very last time that a song comes to me, and then I'm miserable. I'm like, I can't believe I might never get to do that again. And then of course, like 2 days later, I'm doing the same thing again. But it never fails. I mean, it's like, I've written hundreds of songs. I mean, I mean, at least, and still to this day, it's like I just get so sad when a song is done. It's like I'm sending it out, like I'd imagine that's what it's like dropping your child off at kindergarten, and tears falling down your face. Like there it goes. There's nothing I can't help you now. You're on your own.
Oh, first day of preschool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to tour, I guess, for the release of this record. It's the CD's coming out in October, and you're going out in September for release. And where are you going?
I have dates outside of Toronto. I'm working on some places in Detroit. I have shows in St. Louis, Seattle, Portland, Denver, and then there are a bunch of small towns in between that I'm kind of just stopping and like hitting the open mics. I found that those, I mean, that's cool. You meet so many great people, and then they rally around you and they support you and they know what it's like. So that's kind of cool. I'm really, really, really excited about it.
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
Are you taking the band, or are you doing it solo?
Nope, just gonna do solo this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is going out, the financial aspect, depending upon the record label and all that, like supporting a lot of, in this economy right now. Are you finding that?
It's hard. It is hard, and I mean, like even I had a show scheduled that was canceled just within the last week, and it was a big paycheck that was supposed to be paying for a lot of my tour, and it got canceled. So now I'm like, okay, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about that, but I've kind of reworked some things. I've had some really nice offers from people who are going to try to help out a little bit. So it's you can't really count on the money because nobody can count on the money. So it's not it's not just me. Everybody's going to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So.
as far as, I know a lot of, well, you're on a label, so it doesn't, a lot of folks like do a lot of the self-financing type of, Kickstarter, that type of stuff.
Yeah,
the
I thought about
patron
that
type of
actually.
stuff.
I thought about it. I didn't need it until about a week ago. So now I'm like, I want to try to do it without, making some monstrous plea for money from the public, if I can do it without doing that, if I can do like a self-supported tour. Because even though I am signed to the label, they don't, I've chosen to not go with tour support just because in the end I'll have to pay it back anyway, like, if I can just, if I'm doing it, I should just be able to do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so we'll see, but I'm doing it. I've decided even if I don't have all of the ducks in a row before I leave, I'm like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'll, eat a bag of Doritos for a couple days and sleep in the car. I mean, like, whatever. I mean, it's fine. I mean, this is like once in a lifetime kind of thing. I mean, I can't not do this.
Well, I always look for inspiration for the people who have gone before, and I think of people like Woody Guthrie. This guy was riding on a train, riding the rails, and during the Depression era.
Yeah, this is not glamorous. Like, it's not. I'm not supposed to go out there in a prom dress and this is not. I'm not going to be eating caviar on the road. And really, again, I don't even want that. That's exactly what I want. I want that, becoming one with. It sounds it sounds so stupid, but I do. I want that, I want those moments of oh, I just want to go home. I want to be in my own bed. I want to feel that. I want to be nervous because I'm not sure if I'm on the right road. I want to be, I want all of these emotions. I want to experience it all. So then when I get home, I can.
Yeah, my first cross-country drive, I ran out of money in Minneapolis. I just did not realize how far it was to get from Pittsburgh to Seattle.
Right. Yeah.
It's a long...
I'm having a feeling that's going to happen. But you know what? I mean, whatever happens, happens. I mean, I'm up to it.
That's it. The universe will definitely unfold before you.
Totally. I feel like it's, if it's supposed to happen, it will. And that's the thing too, is that it really, again, it's all fallen into place, and I keep my fingers out of it.
Yeah, I got it. I totally understand. So, you want to do another song for us?
I'd love to.
I want to hear as many as I can.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right.
What are you going to do for us now?
This is a song also on the next record. It's I wrote. So I have a gigantic purse that I carry with me everywhere, and I probably should stop doing that because it just becomes full of all of this nonsense stuff that I don't need. And I reached in one day, through all the receipts and gum wrappers and stuff, and I pulled out this piece of paper that I didn't recognize, and I had all these words written on it in my handwriting, so I know I wrote it, but I don't remember writing it down. I know what it's about, but I can't remember actually sitting and writing it. And while I was reading through it, it was like I heard the song for the first time. It was really it was a very strange thing, because that never happens when you're working on a song. It just, it's with you for weeks or however long it takes.
Was there any alcohol involved?
There was no alcohol involved. That's the thing, I know. Because I'm not, I'm a child-free soccer mom is what I've decided, so I'm a pretty clean-cut girl, and I just can't remember where these songs came from.
I got you.
But yeah, so anyway, so the song's kind of special to me just because of that, and then also because whatever. So.
What's the name of it?
It's called Get Over It.
Okay.
You have everything under control, and I am a city broken down, and you have the patience of a battered angel. I am in the tango. What do I do now? Oh, don't you know the reason I'm living in a fantasy, but I don't understand the reason. Oh, don't you know the reason the time has come to set it free? I'll never get over it till I get faithless to the point of forgetting. And you love these more than me. And you are good in all the 10,000 implications. It's no consolation. I at least am trying. Oh, don't you know the reason I live in a fantasy, but I don't understand the reason. Oh, don't you know the reason the time has come to set it free? I'll never get over it till I get over me. Till I get over me. You are without wax, pure and flawless, and I am wearing out at the seams. Yeah, oh, don't you know the reason I live in a fantasy, but I don't understand the reason. Oh, don't you know the reason the time's come to set it free? I'll never get over it till I get over me.
Oh, I could listen to it all day. What do you think, Chip? Huh?
It's good. Sorry, I didn't have a microphone on there. No, this is. Hello. No, excellent, excellent. Like, this is just sort of the ambiance stuff that I like to listen to while I do stuff. I'm
Right.
serious. You know, that's not knocking you
Right.
in
No,
any
no.
way. No, but like that's everything's something you. An album to me is something where you either really like the singles because you love to sing along with them, or you like the album as a whole because you can sit there and listen to it while you're doing stuff, and it all goes together, and you know you fade in and out, but it becomes part of what you're doing,
Totally.
and that's what your
exact-
music's like to me.
That is really good.
Chill.
Thank you.
It's really
Because
chill.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like say Beatles, Sgt. Pepper. You want to sit there and sit, but that's all you're doing is you're directly interacting, but something else you can bring into your life.
Right, right. That's so cool. That's great, and that's what I like. I mean, I'm not like a listen to a song and like party kind of gal. I like the music that just kind of becomes a part of who you are, what you're doing. Music that represents like times in your life. I love that stuff. So
Yeah, like putting on Ray LaMontagne or Damien Rice and just,
yeah,
it's like you know the whole record, but yeah, you're doing something at the time, yeah.
a friend of mine said that one of my songs, whenever he hears it, he's like, I know exactly when that was. That was May 2008. And I'm like, that's cool. Like that a song can like take you right back to a place, and then that my song can do that for someone. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's a blessing and a curse, because you're definitely, it's like, can't give it up. You do it,
Right.
and it's like, I think I was telling you, I left my cubicle job, and I wouldn't want to go back. or
Yeah.
anything.
No way. You couldn't go back. Did you?
Nah, I couldn't, yeah. But, so tell people where they can find, again, you're listening to, in case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live on WNJR 91.7 FM, Washington, Pennsylvania, and streaming on WNJR.org. And we have, I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell, and we have Amy Petty in the studio playing live for us. And Amy, tell us where people can find your music. I take it your first record's up on iTunes, right?
It is. Yep.
Okay.
It's on iTunes. Definitely find me at amypetty.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Facebook, and so definitely find me there. If you're on Twitter, it's another thing. I love Twitter. I mean, I know some people don't get it, but I know I love it. So find me on Twitter, it's just at Amy Petty. On Facebook, I think it's Amy Petty Music, if I'm right. If you search me, I come up. I mean, it's not that hard. And then you can go to Red Pill website, which is redpillonline.com, and you can find my music there. And also there's some, I think this is there. There's a couple unreleased songs. Well, I mean, not on an album released songs of mine that are on that site. You can go check it out there. And there are tons of other artists there with just, there's so much good music on that site. I can't even believe it. So definitely check that out and, friend me on the places.
Are you, is your tour schedule on there for the cup?
It's going up slowly, but yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
some of the bare bones of it are there. Like I booked 2 shows yesterday that haven't gotten up yet. But
So all the friends out there that are listening, I have in Seattle and New York and Boston and
Yeah.
everywhere.
totally.
Look for Amy Petty when she
Yeah.
comes to your town.
Yeah.
You won't regret it. Great show, great performer. And so we have about time for one more song.
Great.
You want to take us out with something?
Perfect.
Is it like one more song?
I will. Yeah, this is one more song from the album, the new one, and I just love it. It's called The Picture.
Okay.
Here's the picture, blank on your horizon, waiting for the day to make its kill. It's still early and my thoughts are not all gathered, and my confidence is rather still. I would love to find a different kind of day, a different kind of day than I am used to, the kind of day that makes me feel so tall and hollow, like I don't care if tomorrow ever comes. You move alongside, step out of the shadow of the minute hand. 'Cause I believe that you have much more on your shoulders, and maybe when I'm older I'll understand. Here's a picture, it's so jaded suppositions and empty benedictions that I don't know. To find a feeling and a love that leaves me reeling, and a little bit like healing, but I don't know. Well, I would love to find a different kind of day and a different time to wait and ride the breakthrough. It's the kind of day that makes me feel so tall and hollow, I'll remain still.
Thank you so much, Amy. That was a great song. Great. I really loved having you in the studio. Thank you, Chip, for everything. And you're listening to Acoustic Songs live on WNJR.